Well, we're back with Tech Talk Radio, and there is nothing better than having the security and safety of knowing that your data has been backed up, because there is nothing worse than when you hear that click, 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 or suddenly you have the power surge, you go to start your computer, and it says drive cannot be found. And there's a peace of mind that comes when you finally realize, aha, I've been backing up. And a company that makes it extremely easy, and it was my pick this week on Fox 11 to show the Western Digital My Passport, because it's great. It's a great way to give a gift. Take your drive and back up your favorite photos, your music, all of that onto it. But there's so much more that's available from Western Digital, not only with the My Passport, but the entire line. And with us on standing by is Luke Ottrey from Irvine, California at Western Digital headquarters to kind of give us a view of what Western Digital has. Luke, thanks for coming on Tech Talk Radio.
Thanks so much for inviting me. It's great to be here.
So tell us a little bit about Western Digital for those that don't know too much about the company. I mean, it's been around for a long time. What can you tell us?
It's been around a whole long time, right? I think we were there at the birth of computers, making chips that go into little floppy disk drives back about 30 to 40 years ago. So the company's been around a whole long time. What we're known for broadly under the Western Digital brand is our range of hard drives, whether they go inside your computer or they're external drives like a My Passport or a MyBook that you connect to the USB port. That's kind of our heritage and where we've been, getting quite a lot of good runs over the last 10 years. The company is transforming. Around about, I think it was August last year, the company made the announcement of acquisition of SanDisk, which complements the hard drive technology that we're known for really quite perfectly with our own solid-state flash fab and factory over in Japan.
Right.
And so we're really excited about the evolution of storage, the next state of storage, being solid state, and making that transition for a lot of people from traditional rotating hard drive media to solid state drives. And we're really excited about the future of Western Digital and what's coming in the future.
Now, I have been a big proponent of solid state drive technology. I've told people, you buy a laptop, go ahead, buy one with 500 gig, but pull it out and pop in an SSD. You're going to find much better performance, and I honestly believe better security, better safety when using them.
Yeah, the performance aspect is there, right? And this is a case where solid state and hard drive technology do complement each other. As I think you mentioned earlier this week on your Fox show, right? People are taking more photos than ever before, and data is just exploding, right? Traditional storage isn't as large as what it used to be on your computer, and so maybe you might only have a 320 gigabyte, hard drive, or maybe it's a 256 gigabyte flash now. And this is where external hard drives really complement the end users and users in the market by being able to store all of the photos that they've collected in their lifespan and not worry about slowing down their computer.
Now, some people, they get a little confused with the My Passport line and the desktop backup devices.
Yeah.
They're not sure really how to do the backups. Does Western Digital make it easier for the end user to actually go ahead and back up those files?
Yeah, so whether it's a portable device, and for those that are on Facebook Live, we're streaming a video right now, whether it's a portable device like a My Passport that I'm holding up here in my hand or a larger desktop device.
Wow, look at that.
Like a MyBook. This is 16 terabytes of storage, right? WD is here to help users back up and protect their data, because we know that that's the most important thing that a lot of people have in their house today. It's their memories, which are all saved digitally, either on their computer or an external hard drive. And we make it really simple. We've got an application that we ship on all of our My Passport and MyBook products. It's called WD Backup. And this backup software we built ourselves. We've had it in the market for about 3 years now. And before that, we had an older version that we had called WD Smartware, which end users loved as well. Yeah. But it's really simple because, and quite frankly, it's something that I would be comfortable giving a passport over to my mum and say, install this, mum, click these 3 buttons, and your computer will be safely backed up. And what our software does is it just goes, it's not comprehensive in the fact that it's too difficult. It's really simple. It just goes and backs up the user's folders on the passport drive and does it every hour or every week, whatever the user selects, and it makes it really simple to get their stuff on their computer backed up onto an external drive.
It can also do like an image. Somebody could create an image, store it on their backup drive in case anything ever happened and they needed to restore everything to their system to get you back up and running.
Yeah, we actually have 2 versions of backup software that we support. So one is the WD Backup that we just talked about, which is backing up my files. But we also partner with the world's leading system imaging company called Acronis, right? And they're known for a product called Acronis True Image, we have a free version of Acronis True Image that works with any WD external or internal device for that matter to actually back up your whole system, right?
Yep.
And so this is available for free for download. It's normally, I think, about $60 if you were to buy it in a retail shelf separately, but it works with any of our devices. So for your more advanced users that want to have a backup of their Windows, and their whole system files, they can use Acronis True Image. And for those that just want to back up their files on a frequent basis, they can use our free WD backup software that we include with our products.
Now, some people have asked the current standard USB 3.0 if they have a USB 2.0 computer, they don't have maybe the added ports. Can they still use these devices?
Yeah, generally speaking, the answer is yes. There's a little asterisk, and there's always an asterisk for some of these things. The asterisk is that USB 3 brought with it a greater power, right, through the connection, and so it works perfectly with Passport. USB 2 is not always providing enough power to power on a portable hard drive, and for that you may need to have what we call a desktop hard drive, or in the WD language it's called MyBook. These are not powered by USB. They're powered by a plug that goes into the wall. Correct. And they work absolutely no problems with USB 2.0. But we find that, honestly speaking, a lot of people that still have USB 2.0, they're increasingly becoming the exception, not the norm. So most people should be okay with a Passport these days. And these little portable devices, they're quite amazing. I remember, 10 years ago when I got into storage, it was 40 gigabytes, right?
Right. Even that was a lot.
Even that was a lot back 10 years ago, 40 gigabytes, right? And that was, what was that, about 10,000 photos or 10,000 photos or something? And now we ship them up to 4 terabytes, right? Which is about 1 million photos, that you can save on one of these things. And all of that for about $150 that you can put in your pocket and take with you. There's really no reason why people shouldn't be backing up their stuff today, since it's so easy and relatively cheap. Somebody
was asking me to do the math today. They said, well, I was explaining that, you have a 4 terabyte My Passport. And they said, well, how does that relate? So I started, and I said, well, imagine one floppy that was like 1.44 meg, and then you have 100 of them. And then I started getting lost in the math. And honestly, I think my hair caught on fire. It was to try and explain it's hard.
Yeah, it's difficult to explain. But, one thing that we need to keep mindful of is that while the capacity of the drives has gotten bigger too, the average size of a photo has gotten larger as well. And even things like videos, my iPhone that I'm talking to you today on, shoots 4K video, right? My GoPro shoots 4K at 60 frames a second. The size of our files are getting larger as well, which is great, right? Because when I'm 80 years old and sitting in a retirement home, I can look back at my rafting trip that I had in the Adirondacks in upstate New York this year and relive it in the full glory that it was back then.
Right. Now, for somebody who is using a laptop, My Passport is a great solution for them because, again, you don't have to carry around an extra power cord, and you have the different colors. And
absolutely. They come in 6 colors right now, all the way through to orange and yellow, right? So really quite diverse color palette that
let me pull that.
Each of them.
I had the camera on me. Let me pull it up on you. Yes, much better. There you go. All right.
We have them in 6 colors, black, blue, white, orange, yellow, and red. And a lot of, I want to say quite surprised about a lot of American people. When we look at the number of people that are buying orange, good on you, America, for stepping a little bit fashion forward this year. Maybe it's got something to do with the president. I don't know. I won't draw that conclusion.
Great.
But let's just say that orange is punching above its weight right now.
Very good.
But you're right. They plug straight into the USB port, and it's really designed just to be something that plug, just like a traditional USB flash drive that maybe your users are used to using. Plug it in, and then there's 4 terabytes of storage available. 3 more clicks and my stuff's backed up. And I can use it just like a flash drive as plug-and-play storage.
Now, has the My Passport line's been around for a while. This is kind of a new design, correct?
Yeah, so let me show you it was this rounded corners, traditional hard drive-looking type thing. And this type of design with the rounded corners and this horizontal, we've had in the market since around about 2012. WD actually shipped its first Passport back in 2004, would you believe?
Wow.
And more people have been choosing My Passport over any other branded external hard drive in the world. And we're really quite proud of the legacy. But to your point, you can see here we've changed the design a little bit. This particular design that we have, in addition to the colors, brings with it, a new platform for us to enable users to express themselves. It was a 2-year project that we conducted with an external design agency that's called Fuse Project.
Right.
The designer, Yves Bahar, the lead designer there, worked on some products like Jawbone and Jabra speakers, I believe. But the design that we have, we've gone away from the rounded corners in this particular design, but we've got this nice little tapered middle piece and then a textured bottom. And keep your eyes open as to what's coming in this line over the next couple of months, because we're taking this a little bit further. We're really excited about that.
Really? Now, the capacities right now are what? So
the lowest capacity we ship in a passport drive is 1 terabyte, right? Which for a lot of people might think that's plenty, right? But again, we want to remind you that your photos are getting bigger too, right?
Right.
So don't underestimate your storage. They go from 1 through to 2, 3, and 4 terabytes on the passport. It does have a bigger brother that's called MyBook.
Right.
MyBook is a desktop drive. We kind of mentioned it a little bit before.
I like those too.
This ships lowest capacity is 3 terabytes and goes from 3, 4, 6, and 8 terabytes. Right? Wow. And this is perfect for people to leave on their desk and just always be backing up their computer any time you want.
Absolutely. Now, and then you have that 16 terabyte big guy there.
I've got 2 big boys here. We've got a product that's called MyBook Duo. And what this is, it's basically the single MyBook. And just a reminder to your listeners, it's very visual right now on Facebook Live.
Yes.
We've got the single MyBook, but MyBook Duo is basically what we do is we put 2 hard drives inside this thing.
Oh, wow.
Right? And so these can run for the advanced people in a RAID 0 or a RAID 1 mode.
Oh, right? Excellent.
So that changes if I have maximum capacity or maximum protection. So I can choose to save my stuff replicate my stuff from one disk onto another. That comes in up to 16 terabytes. And I think in the market right now, this is about $400 to $500. So great value for high capacity storage. And then we take that a little bit further. We have a whole other series of products that are designed for creative professionals, and I can do my 4K video editing on the MyBook Pro type product.
Could you also use that as a server in the home as well?
Not designed for it. We have a different line of products. Let me grab one here. Called the MyCloud series that you might be able to see. What MyCloud is this is a hard drive that I connect to my router, right? Okay. And I leave it on 24/7. It operates just like a server would in your office. And so it gives me a network drive. But the great thing about MyCloud, in addition to the centralized storage, and by the way, it backs up all of my computers and Macs and PCs and all of that, is that it will actually back up my photos from my phone wherever I am in the world.
Oh, no, that's nice.
Right. And so as long as my home internet is on, right, this thing and my phone is connected to the internet somewhere in the world, it will back up my phone from wherever I am in the world. And I can access any of the files that I save on this. This is up to 8 terabytes from anywhere in the world through my phone or tablet or PC or Mac. And so these are our server products. They're called MyCloud. They come in consumer line, which is the white products here. We have the larger versions, which are 16 terabyte capacities.
Wow.
And then we have what's called a Pro version, which is called MyCloud Pro. And so this particular product is getting rave reviews right now. What it does is it takes that basic promise of the MyCloud line, which is centralized storage, anywhere access of the content, but then we enable certain apps to run on this. And I don't know if some of your users are interested in things like Plex. Yep. So this is Plex's first hardware transcoding media server.
Right.
And I've got one of these running at my home with 32 terabytes of data on it.
Nice.
I share my Plex server out to people all around the world, my family in Australia, my family in upstate New York. And what MyCloud Pro is, it's powerful enough to transcode my 4K videos on the fly without, stuttering. And so transcoding is the process of pulling the high resolution videos into a manageable size for the internet connection. And MyCloud Pro is the first one to do that, and we're really proud of its success in the market. And if you take a little bit of a read online, it's getting some great reviews on that.
So anybody, basically, then that is a video editor or a graphics person, this way they can easily access anything they need, previous work parts for editing, or if they're doing, graphics, visual effects. This is going to be great for them.
Yeah, whether it's editing, content that I can access from anywhere in the world, or sharing out a folder, right, to my clients to review things like proofs or a video concept. MyCloud Pro enables you to do that all without the storage of monthly fees, right? A lot of people are used to paying $5 or $10 a month to people like Dropbox or Microsoft or Google. And what we do is we basically say, you know what, that's a nice business model, which is good, right?
Right.
But maybe you're not too sure about leaving your data sitting in some data center in the middle of Las Vegas, right? Or maybe you don't know where your data is and you really want to have that in your control, especially for creative professionals. They're very, they take their data to heart, their videos to heart. And so MyCloud Pro enables me to keep it at home, safe in my home. I know exactly where my data is, and then I can share out pieces of that cloud for people to be able to access and review and even upload. And I can share out pieces of my cloud with my friends so that they can put stuff into my folders.
That is great. I worked on a project some years ago, and we were all editing, HD video and sharing using the online services like Dropbox, and this would have made it so much better. Much better.
We find that a lot of creative agencies, they have a lot of input from the field, whether it's people taking videos and then they upload it somewhere. But because if I editing that video as it gets uploaded, and I've got my full speed of my network, supporting, it's not limited to my internet connection if I'm in my office editing that stuff that's on that.
Now, I know some people have asked, and we featured the drive about fault tolerance when you're carrying a drive around. The last thing you tell a kid not to run with scissors, you tell people not to run with hard drives. How have they changed when it comes to what they can handle when somebody's moving these drives around, like the My Passport?
Yeah, so you could, as always, never run with scissors. Doesn't matter how slowly you walk. You probably shouldn't walk with scissors.
Yeah. I'm not even allowed near them. I'm not even allowed near scissors.
Just don't pick them up, right? Yeah. In relation to how things have changed, the drives over the years have gotten more robust, right? Mm-hmm. But that said, it's still a piece of media, right, with two discs inside them. Always make sure that the disc is powered down and safely ejected before you unplug it, right?
So you should still do that then.
Should still do that, right? Yeah. It's always just good practice just to do it. What that does is it parks the heads and makes sure that the heads are not the heads, which are I'm trying to think of a record player, right? Like, remember the little arm that goes out over the record?
Turntable.
Yeah, so the turntable, right? Exactly. The arm gets parked into the corner of the drive, and so that way, if I walk around, it's not going to damage and impact the drive too much, right? But obviously, if I drop this out of a plane, chances of it surviving are probably not that great, right? I'll be honest. And
so you still got to be careful.
That's part of the limitation of a hard drive, right? And part of the reason why, Western Digital Corporation's acquisition of SanDisk sets us ready for the future as people kind of look to store on more solid state drives, and the price of solid state drives becomes cheaper in the market over time.
Now, I've had people who said they've wanted to move to solid state technology, but one of the barriers is, like, for example, I took my 750 gigabyte drive out of my laptop and I put in a 240 gigabyte drive in my drive. So I don't have as much space. Of course, I have that extra speed. And they said, well, that's kind of the give and take as a size. Now, I understand hybrid technology is coming, though, that it's going to give basically people the speed of SSD with the features of a traditional drive.
Yeah, hybrid technology is kind of coming and going. Seagate, I think, was the first out there with hybrid drive technology in around about 2010, if I'm not mistaken, right?
Right.
And it's had its niche in the market. Honestly speaking, we're finding that a lot of people that build their own desktop, computers, they're using solid state for boot, but they're still putting a 6 or 4 terabyte hard drive inside the computer to actually have that storage, right? Microsoft has done a few things enabling tiered storage in Windows over time, and then they've kind of rolled it back, which is a neat function where if you had an SSD and a hard drive inside the same computer, you could make a virtual solid-state hard drive through Windows called tiered storage. But we haven't, and Apple had it with Fusion technology or Fusion Drive on Mac OS X for those people that may remember that.
Oh, yeah.
Again, these things kind of haven't gone too far, and at the same time, we're finding that, traditionally those solid-state hybrid drives, they've had a very low amount of flash on board, right? Yeah. So it might be a 750 gigabyte hard drive with 8 gigabytes of flash, right?
Yeah, which is still not enough.
It's not a whole lot, right? And so there's only so much benefit that gives me when I'm looking at other things in my computer. But certainly from our perspective, we're kind of purists here at WD right now, where we say use the SSD for your boot drive and then add an external or another high capacity hard drive inside your computer if you can fit it. For additional storage there. And most of all, back up everything, right? Nothing's safe unless it's backed up.
There is nothing worse. And I remember, I know I'm much older than you, but I remember many years ago going to CES and getting a little stuffed, I don't know if they have them still around at WD, but a little stuffed guy with a funny hair. And
guy with a funny hair.
And he would squeeze it and he would say, did you remember to back up? Back up.
That's it.
Nothing worse when your drive dies and somebody says, "Did you back up?"
It's the cheapest insurance policy you can actually buy, right? Because you only ever need to buy it once, right? And a backup, of course, means that your data is saved in 2 different places. So if my computer died, I've still got my stuff here. A lot of people that are paranoid about their data, they choose to back up in 3 locations, right?
Yeah.
Myself, I'm a little bit of an advanced user, right? So I, have one of these connected to my PC at home backing up. But then I've got my, my Cloud Pro sitting at home, right, with a whole lot of data on it. I've got some personal files on there too. And I've actually set this up to actually back up to my parents' house in Australia.
Oh, that's phenomenal.
Also have a MyCloud Pro running. So I bought 2 MyCloud Pros the day they came out.
Right.
Send one to Australia. So my data is going to back up to a different continent, right? So that if Southern California fell off the tectonic plate, that my data's safe.
Great.
And I can get my photos. So, yeah.
I have real estate in Southern Cal. Let's hope that never happens. Well, so this is really a great move for Western Digital with the new My Passport line. Great gift idea. As I have said, for Valentine's, again, people do this. They put their pictures, they put their music on there. They can really personalize an experience and not that expensive. Now, if they're on a Mac platform, let's verify and clarify that it does work on a Mac, correct?
It does work on a Mac. I mentioned before we're purists. We are a little bit purist at WD. We offer 2 solutions for the Mac users. Actually, it's 3. The first is one that just works out of the box with Mac, and it's called My Passport for Mac. Right. It's just like the rest of the Passport products that we showed before in the 6 colors, but this one's only available in black.
Okay.
It's formatted, ready for Mac. I plug it straight into my Mac, and Time Machine comes up and says, "Would you like to use this for Time Machine?" And it's 1 click, and my stuff is backed up. Right. So that's the first option. For the more advanced people or people that really want to buy an orange drive, you can buy an orange drive, which is designed for Windows, right? And it does work with Mac. You do need to reformat it. Again, Apple has made advancements in the operating system where I plug this in, it will say, "Would you like to use this for your Mac?" And you say yes, and it will reformat the device.
Right.
I can't use it with Windows interoperably, right? I have to make a choice. Which one am I going to use it for?
Which platform?
Yeah. For the really advanced people, they might want to do it themselves and format it into something called exFAT, right, which works natively on PC and Mac. I lose some of the automatic backup capabilities when I do that, but that's an alternative there.
There are programs out there too that'll make it allow third-party programs that allow you to read Mac on a PC.
There are third-party programs as well.
Yeah, that's great. Well, a great product line. If our listeners want to get more information, Luke, about it, what's the website they can go to?
Yeah, they can hit WD.com anytime. 24/7. We've got a broad range of solutions from internal hard drives to external hard drives to internal solid state drives, and we're really quite excited for our users to jump on there and check it out.
Awesome. Luke Ottrey, thank you so much for coming on and talking with us.
Thanks so much for having me. I appreciate it.
We'll be back with more of Tech Talk Radio. Thanks to everybody on Facebook Live for watching too. Those are some good looking drives. I like, my favorite is red though. I got to tell you, my favorite's got to be the red one.
There you go. Bring it with me today.
You didn't bring red. I should be showing it. I've got one. Again, thanks again. All right, take care.
Thank you. Bye.